Hey gang, today's question comes from Ruth, and Ruth says, while I was riding on the trail, a spooked horse ran into my horse and caused her to whirl around and take off. Do you have any ideas or suggestions for stopping or correcting this? Now, I've got a couple different ways that I would think about that. If I'm riding a horse that's spooking on the trail in a situation like this, I figure we've basically got one of two options in that moment when it happens. Option number one, of course, would be our one rein stop. That's something that I'll admittedly say I'll try to only do in a real serious situation where maybe I'm confined and I can't do anything with the horse's energy. I try to avoid doing the one rein stop stuff if I can help it. But again, in a situation like this, we might need to for safety's sake. Now, the other option that I would utilize, and I would try to do this more if I could, is kind of use that energy, ride the horse forward if they're spooking forward, and turn that into something productive. Use the energy for unlocking the horse's body, getting them a little bit more handy in that moment, something like that. It's kind of something that one of my mentors, Ray Hunt, used to tell us all the time. Within difficulty lie opportunity. You know, if we can catch that in the action, then there's a potential way that we could, you know, maybe use that to work on even our canter departures or something like that. But so again, I'll take one of two ways to deal with that whenever I'm riding a horse that just suddenly bolts or spooks out on the trail. And again, in this situation, you know, the horse ran into Ruth's horse, so it's hard to say. She didn't mention kind of what situation she was in, you know, what the trail conditions were like, that sort of thing. I believe she mentioned more in the message about it being something about the other horse spooked because of a gate or something like that. So presumably, we're in a more open space where she could ride that horse forward and, you know, use that. Maybe turn that into some canter circles or something like that if that's what happened. So the two options we'd be looking at, one rein stop and use it for something productive. Now, what I would try to think more about in those situations is prevention. What can we do ahead of time to help keep our horse from bolting, spooking in a situation like that? Again, another horse ran into hers. There's very little, it sounds like, she had to control in that situation. But if we've got a horse that's generally spooky or generally has a tendency to bolt or something like that, or even a horse that wants to rush, I'll try to get them very busy. I might be weaving trees, I might be leg yielding, side passing one step, you know, each direction, things like that, asking the horse to soften to the bridle or, you know, to think about changing bends. Always working on getting that horse to soften and focus and think about me while we're out there on the trail. I tend to keep a horse very busy when I'm trail riding. We're always doing something. We're always, you know, speeding up, slowing down, moving left, moving right, changing gaits, changing focus, that sort of thing. So the bolting, spooking horse on the trail, I try to think more about prevention than about, you know, what we do in the situation when it happens. But again, if you find yourself in that situation, we've got either the one rein stop, if we have to, or ride it and make something useful of it. So I hope, Ruth, that that's helpful to you. I hope for everybody else that's potentially helpful. Please, if it is, share this video maybe with some of your friends. Question of the day for you guys. What is the most bizarre or entertaining thing that you and your horse have encountered out on the trail? Share that with us in the comments below here. Don't forget, submit your questions. You can email us, you can message them directly to our page, or you can put those in the comments below as well. You guys keep asking your questions, I'll keep answering. Thanks so much.